Nigeria's finance minister says the country doesn't have a debt problem but a revenue one. She is hopeful emerging revenue streams will help finance the nation's expenditure. This is coming against the backdrop of the IMF telling Nigeria to exercise caution with debts. Lara Afolayan reports.
Recent data from the Debt Management Office shows domestic and external debt owed by federal and state governments now stands at 25.7 trillion naira. The International Monetary Fund, at its ongoing annual meetings, already told the country to be mindful of borrowing as though it could be economically beneficial, but counterproductive when negative shocks hit. But the Finance Ministry feels the country's debt is way within limits and believes the concern should rather be on how the country could generate more income.
Nigeria does not have a debt problem. What we have is a revenue problem. Our revenue to GDP is still one of the lowest amongst countries that are comparable to us. At less than 20%, about 90% of GDP, what the World Bank and IMF recommend is up to about 50% of GDP for debts of countries our size. We're not there. So the problem we have is a revenue problem. The underperformance of revenue is causing significant strain in our ability to service debt and to service government day-to-day recurrent expenditure. That's why
Nigeria presently has a revenue to GDP ratio of 8%, which government considers suboptimal. New non-oil income generating initiatives are now evolving. A school of thought already argues that revenue projections in the 2020 budget may be way too ambitious, but the minister disagrees.
Utilization is attained. Why do we want to reduce it? Because we are underperforming. We're lucky that crude oil price in 2018 outperformed the budget because we budgeted $60 per barrel and we ended up with an average of 67. Otherwise, if we had poor oil price, the 55% performance wouldn't even have been achieved. So what we have to do collectively as a people is to make sure that the agencies that have responsibility to generate revenue actually generate these revenues. We don't create these revenue numbers. The agencies propose them to us. We interrogate the numbers, we ask them.
The IMF in its financial stability report released at the annual meetings raised concerns about debt vulnerability in many low-income sub-Saharan economies, as a number of them are either in debt distress or at a high risk of one, and suggested sovereign debt management practices. Lara Afolayan, TVC News, Washington, D.C.